The dog tried to catch the bull by surprise as the hoofed animal was coming out of the water, but with a powerful kick to the snout, the bull knocked the aggressor back and sent it into a knockout.
It's a good thing the dog didn't drown, but he will remember this painful lesson, and we will show other instances where bulls demonstrated that they are not to be messed with.
This scene of confrontation between bulls and wild predators is striking in its beauty and epicness. A whole pack of wolves surrounded just two bison, but they managed to give the hunters an impressive resistance. Wolves act very efficiently and in a coordinated manner. They press the bison, constantly attacking from different sides, trying to catch them off guard and demonstrating enviable endurance. Wolves can run dozens of kilometers at top speed without showing fatigue. They can also fight for a very long time. Meanwhile, the predators combine their efforts so effectively as if they are acting according to a clear plan that was made many hours in advance. When one animal attacks, the second retreats, and vice versa. They protect each other, dodge at the last moment before a counterattack, try to seize the initiative at any cost, and have an excellent understanding of the opponent's physiology. Wolves know where to strike, how to use their fangs in a fight against a bison. In general, the arsenal of techniques of these intelligent and remarkably swift animals is impressive. Why did we praise them so much? Just so you understand how awesome the bison are if they manage to fend off such an effective and formidable team. Only a couple of hoofed animals managed to build their defense so skillfully that the attacking surge of the wolves faltered, and each of their assault attempts broke against the efforts of the hoofed animals like waves crashing against rocks. The predators made a mistake in choosing their prey. One of the bison lifted the wolf with its horns as easily as you lift a house cat. Only the goals are different. The bison doesn't intend to pet the wolf but wants to pierce it with its horns or drive it into the ground up to its ears. The bison's horns, though short, are very dangerous due to their crushing power and speed. Even with a short run-up, the impact was powerful enough not only to lift the wolf off the ground but also to send it flying through the air. The predator flipped and landed in front of its stunned pack mates. However, the wolves did not give up and continued the attack, as they were rightly considered some of the most effective predators on the planet. It's hard to scare them, but the bison only intensified their resistance and counterattacked, protecting each other. It resembles an action scene from a cool action movie where two friends have each other's backs and fend off an entire squad of dangerous thugs. But this is not a performance. It's a real risk for these magnificent animals who command respect with their bravery and strength. It's not surprising that before the arrival of Europeans and the colonization of North America, the wild bison population reached tens of millions. It was an impressive achievement for an entire species of hoofed animals, considering the proximity to grizzlies, giant wolf packs, and mountain lions. This unique success of the species is linked to its incredible strengths and endurance. One of the funniest scenes involving cows ever caught on camera. The tiger was chasing a cow fleeing in panic when something unexpected happened. The domestic hoofed animal didn't notice the fence, hit it with its head, and then the animal's fierce and fearless fighter awoke. The cow turned around and drove the largest panther in the world to flee. The tiger is shocked, but it has to retreat from the enraged horned animal as if from a monster. The cow's bravery deserves your like, doesn't it? In Africa, there are few predators as dangerous and effective as hyenas. These animals have a reputation as scavengers, but in reality, they are very good hunters capable of pursuing and cornering prey many times larger than themselves. The trump card of hyenas is their ability to hunt in large packs. Their jaws possess a crushing bite force. Hyenas are rightly considered fierce enemies of lions. To compete with the kings of beasts, the only pack-living felines in the world, one must be a truly formidable animal. Hyenas are known for their pronounced ferocity. They attack their prey, trying to inflict maximum damage. Elegant tactics like strangulation or a quick attack are not typical for them. Hyenas are more likely to attack a large opponent repeatedly, sinking their fangs, retreating to wound and bleed it until the prey falls, having lost the last strength to resist. However, here the hyenas made a mistake in choosing their opponent. When this epic battle was caught on camera, it had already been going on for several minutes. And credit must be given to the predators. They have already achieved some success. When one of the hyenas attacked the buffalo from behind, it bit into its tail and managed to tear it off at the very base. The hyenas engaged in a fight with the huge buffalo right in the middle of the road, which shocked the drivers. Travelers were crossing the reserve but did not expect such close contact with wildlife. It was likely the hoofed animal that chose the road as the battleground. Why? The road here is on an elevation. The hyenas cannot get noticeably closer and use the bushes as cover, and the nearest cars are quite far away. The predators did not expect such tactical cleverness from the buffalo, but the herbivore is smarter than it seems and managed to impose its own rules on the opponent. However, the buffalo's advantages end there, as it is alone against 8 adult and experienced hyenas who have clearly hunted its kind multiple times before. At first, the huge buffalo easily tossed aside several hyenas that tried to attack him in a wide circle. However, the hoofed animal's native herd is far away, and there is nowhere to run. After all, it is precisely here that the horned fighter finds it most convenient to take a defensive position. The injury was making itself felt. The buffalo's tail, though small, is an important part of the body with an abundance of nerve endings and blood vessels. Although the blood loss is unfortunately insignificant for the hyenas, the pain from the bite weakened the bull. But not enough for him to give up. However, soon the whole pack arrived, and 8 dangerous and large predators faced one mighty bull. Nevertheless, the hyenas clearly underestimated their opponent. The buffalo was not going to be just a meal for these audacious carnivores, and resisted with exceptional strength, skillfully dodging. The hyenas continued to attack the tail to aggravate the fresh wound. Sneaky? From the buffalo's point of view, absolutely, but from the hyena's side, it's a smart move. The bite strength of this predator is often underestimated. But it should be remembered that hyenas are famous scavengers, capable of crushing bones to access the marrow. The hyenas were trying not just to cause the buffalo pain, but to damage the base of its spine to immobilize it, or at least impair the coordination of its hind legs. However, these attempts were unsuccessful and did not stop the bull, and not only did he not slow down, but he also weakened the resistance after this cunning blow. He tossed the hyenas aside, spun around and broke free from every trap, trying to lure the predator into his own snare to pierce them with his sharp horns. The buffalo constantly tried to press and counter-attack, ready to send each hyena into the air or crush it into the ground as soon as the predator got close enough. Such incredible activity combined with cunning was the only chance for the lone hoofed animal to survive. He had to show the hyenas that dealing with him would come at a terrible cost. Only fear would make these predators retreat, and the bull understood this perfectly. The hyenas attacked several times, sinking their teeth directly into the wound, hoping the pain would stun the bull and sap his strength. However, the buffalo turned out to be much more resilient and determined. He spun fiercely and, using his horns, prevented the hyenas from securely grabbing the wound. As a result, after several minutes of exhausting confrontation, the hyenas finally grew tired and ceased their active attempts to attack the hoofed animal. They have moved away, and although the predators have not yet left, there is hope that if the buffalo does not show signs of weakness or fatigue, its formidable appearance and readiness to fight to the end will finally scare off the carnivores. When a large wild predator sneaks onto a farm, it seems that no domestic animal can resist it, especially if it's the largest panther in the world. The tiger attacked a herd of domestic cows, causing them to flee in panic. Choosing a calf as its target, the striped panther acted, at first glance, sensibly. After all, theoretically, it would be easier to handle this prey, but the tiger didn't know who it was dealing with. Unexpectedly, this young calf proved to be a tireless runner, leading the tiger all over the area, maneuvering well and constantly escaping the panther's final leap. Every time it seemed like just a few more seconds, a couple more steps, and the tiger would reach its prey. But each time, the clever and cunning calf escaped the fatal leap, keeping the opponent at bay. Finally, the tiger managed to catch up and bring down the calf, but then its mother came to the rescue. An ordinary domestic cow turned out to be an unexpectedly formidable fighter. For the sake of protecting her offspring, she was ready to fight one-on-one with an adult tiger. The predator was preoccupied and couldn't fend her off. The cow charged and drove the tiger away, forcing the predator to retreat back into the jungle. In Asia, there are several breeds of bulls that differ significantly in appearance. For example, the Indian Zebu bull has distinctive small horns and a rather specific silhouette, which stands out with several differences from its distant European relatives or even the wild Boer buffaloes of Asia. So, the Zebu has a humped body, slender legs, and a massive back, a strange figure. One of the brazen goats did not take the bull seriously and decided to attack it. However, this turned out to be the wrong strategy for establishing relations with the farm neighbor. The Zebu immediately accepted the challenge and gave an impressive rebuff to this intrusive opponent. The bull made his rival regret his aggression when he sent him on a short but impressive flight. The Zebu amused itself by tossing him around and playing with him like a toy. Note that the bull behaved sensibly and did not finish off the goat. Despite its strength, the Zebu remained careful and did not cause serious harm to the attacker, for whom this would be a painful but not fatal lesson in good manners. Another ram was not as lucky, if not worse. It was caught, hooked, and started spinning around its axis. The ram itself did not expect such acrobatic abilities from itself. For it, these amazing flights are clearly a new, breathtaking experience. It crashed to the ground, learning the lesson that it's better not to compete with bulls. If you think that Zebu are only impressive against opponents 3 or 4 times less massive, you're mistaken. These bulls also fight among themselves, and it's no less impressive. Interestingly, Zebu can perform such moves even against rivals that weigh much more than the heaviest Harley. Look how one of the bulls confidently met the attack of another, unbalanced it, and using its strength, executed a powerful throw reminiscent of an exotic move from some Eastern martial art like Jiu-Jitsu or Aikido. I took the strength of his opponent and used it against him to unbalance and dramatically throw him to the ground. The aggressor did a real somersault and fell on his back right in front of his opponent. The bull that suffered such a humiliating defeat was surely quite hurt, but at least he will learn a lesson and won't mess with such a skilled master again. The lionesses decided to attack the herd of buffaloes, expecting the herbivores to start running at the sight of predators. In many cases, bulls do indeed react to the initial appearance of enemies with fear and start to panic when they suddenly face a determined attack by predators. However, this is only the first reaction, which occurs not out of cowardice, but because the horned animals cannot accurately determine how many predators are surrounding them. In such cases, it's best for them to run, but this time the lionesses underestimated their opponent, relying on this reflex. They approached the herd with almost no attempt to hide, thus losing the element of surprise. The lioness's plan was to instill fear in the buffalo, make them flee, and then separate a lagging hoofed animal from the herd and take it down. If several lionesses charge at a fleeing bull, they can bring it down, despite the hoofed animal's weight being several times greater, and the herd will run away and not return to support their kin. The big cat's plan failed from the start. The bulls noticed the enemies but were not frightened at all. On the contrary, they had time to prepare for a strong and powerful defense. They bravely faced the predators, showing mutual support and protecting their leaders. Usually, only a few of the largest and strongest buffaloes go on the counterattack, but the other members of the herd closely monitor the situation and guard the flanks. They are ready at any moment to prevent an attack from any side. Meanwhile, the bravest leaders form something like a wedge if the attacking line has 1 point, and several tentacles if several bulls attack one at the same time, breaking through to the enemy pack and getting stuck there, enveloping the enemy in battle. If an enraged bull becomes too engrossed in the attack, gets injured, or realizes that he is being surrounded, he can always return to his kin for protection. This is exactly what happened in this case. The lionesses recovered after the first desperate counterattack by the buffalo. The predatory cats managed to dodge the most dangerous and desperate blows of the enraged hoofed animal, which tried to pierce them with its horns and trample them with its hooves. The panthers coordinated their actions well and were ready to surround and attack the brave bull, believing that it had become too angry and lost control of itself. However, it turned out that the crushing power of this mighty beast is combined with remarkable composure and the ability to assess the situation well, especially when it changes abruptly. When the trap was almost about to close, this buffalo wisely sensed the danger, turned around and broke through the lioness's encirclement. He managed to safely return to the herd, which loyally awaited their hero and protector. Such behavior resembles the defensive tactics of elephants. Perhaps it is this similarity that leads to displays of extraordinary solidarity, although it is difficult to say why these species often show surprising loyalty to each other. Many cases have been captured on camera where elephants and buffaloes often provided real support to each other in battles with predators. In this case, the pride of lions managed to surround a young elephant that had separated from its family. The weight of the young elephant is already close to a ton, and it is not going to become easy prey for the predators. However, it clearly lacks experience and combat skills. A buffalo weighing about a ton can become a real living battle machine, tossing lions left and right. The young elephant should not be underestimated, but he still loses to experienced and skillfully attacking predators. For such prey, a whole team of the pride's most dangerous cats gathered. The terrifying strength of the males and the agility of the females, combined with their experience and ability to coordinate actions during an attack, brought the desired results. Under the pressure of the panthers, the pride managed to overcome the young elephant, who resisted desperately. The predators have already brought it to the ground and were ready to finish the hunt. When the elephant calf is lying on its side, it becomes extremely difficult for it to get up, as its powerful legs lack flexibility and more resemble columns. Therefore, the lions have no particular problem holding the prey down and preventing it from standing up. Of course, the little one resists. Credit must be given to him, as his active resistance allows the calf to gain a few extra seconds until help arrives. However, by himself, he no longer poses a threat to the panthers, despite the resistance of the calf, who is lying on the ground and trying to strike each aggressor. The lions act very cohesively and effectively. Regardless of how much time it takes, the lions will surely prevail, reach the elephant calf's neck, and suffocate it, or inflict other fatal injuries. However, the lions did not consider that during their struggle, the elephant calf was making sounds of despair and pain. And although the herd of giants was too far away and wouldn't have made it in time to help even if they had heard, underestimating other herbivorous animals of the savannah was a mistake. A herd of buffalo witnessed the terrible scene. They realized that the lions were hunting not one of them, but an elephant. Theoretically, they shouldn't care about a member of another species, especially considering that sometimes buffaloes and elephants get into conflicts. But in practice, fortunately, theory often diverges. And for some reason, the brave buffalo decided to help the elephant calf. What is most striking is the coordination of the hoofed animals' actions. It is not the whim of one of them, but the decision of the whole clan. The buffalo attacked the lions first, acting in unison and using the element of surprise. Asing Darawi saying pai. The predators truly did not expect such a sudden and terrifying intervention. The ramming attack by the buffaloes caught the lions off guard and nearly cost some of them their lives. But thanks to their feline agility and instant reaction speed, they managed to avoid a direct collision. Nevertheless, the lions could continue holding the elephant calf after this unexpected attack. They were not ready to fight several buffaloes at once, staring in shock at the hoofed animals as if trying to ask why would the bulls risk themselves for someone else's offspring. But the only answer the bulls were ready to give was a powerful blow of their horns. There were several buffaloes and their attack was coordinated and precise. Building on their success, they attacked the lions from different sides, with the most aggressive bull in the center. The lions had to retreat. Thus, the young elephant was saved. Surprisingly, this is not the end. The elephant calf is still lying down, as getting up is not easy for him, even without the pressure of strong paws on top. Besides, he is tired and injured. But the buffaloes stayed close to the little one, guarding him until he recovered. They were not going to let the lions near their charge and only left when they were sure the elephant calf was okay. If members of this species truly forget nothing, then this was a good investment in the future. Agree? The herd of bulls gained a friend who will grow and reach 3 tons. If you want to see another scene where representatives of different animal species save each other, then write about it in the comments. And don't forget to share your impressions of the bravest buffaloes and bulls in our selection. And also subscribe to our channel, then we will see each other more often.